I have seen your link to the YouTube channel.
Ah, you've seen my link, which I sent you
Yes, last
to
time. Yes.
my
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Yes, that's good. Do you want me to send it to you again, or do you have it?
No, I have it. I
You
should
have
have it.
it.
I'm still
Ah,
trying to open the communication line, the
right.
written communication task.
Uh-huh.
No,
So,
I have it. Walter
yeah,
Walter de Camp's YouTube.
that's
Yes, I
me.
have it. Yes,
Absolutely. That is correct.
very
Oh,
well.
wonderful. Yes, that's great, Johnny. So, tell me, how is everything going for you? What's new? What's been happening for you, Johnny?
Mhm. I would say absolutely not bad. As you've
Well,
already
that's
know,
good. If it's not
we
bad, then it's automatically good. By default,
yes,
anything
yes,
that's not bad is good, and
yeah,
anything that's not good is bad. So if it's not bad, then it must be good.
yeah,
That's excellent.
yeah. As you already know, the situation in our company is not the best as it
Company,
was. The
not. That's right.
company
The
is
O
not.
is pronounced like a
Yeah,
U, so it's pronounced company.
company is not the best as it was 20 years ago. But
Yes, I understand
as
that.
you know, I put absolutely myself in hands God, in
And
God's
not
hands,
in.
in God's
That's right.
hands.
It's not
Yes.
in hands God's
Yeah.
or hands God, but
Yeah.
in God's hands. That's
Yes.
right. You have it the right way around.
Yes.
In God's hands. That's
And
right.
I try to do the best of the situation. I'm not doing nothing.
You've
I'm.
done the best of the situation. You would say you try to do the best in the situation. Okay, because
I'm.
you are in the situation. So you would say, I try to do the best in the situation. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about the best of the situation, that would be, you would say, the highlight uh, was the best of the situation. Do you know what a highlight is, Johnny? What is a highlight?
The
Any idea?
highlight is
Yes.
something that you have is something that happened,
Yes.
for example, during a day, and
Right.
is a good thing that happened during the day, for
Oh,
example,
yes,
and this is
absolutely.
can be the highlight of the day, for example,
Right.
or the
That's it.
highlight of an excursion, a highlight of a
Uh-huh.
vacancy everywhere.
Yes, not vacancy. You're talking about a holiday.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, because if you talk about a vacancy, that's when there is a vacancy. It could be a job vacancy, for
Ah,
example.
no, no.
Uh, that means there's an employment that needs to be filled, a position that needs to be
Do
filled.
do
That's
you
a
see, Walter? I try to
vacancy.
mix all the luggage, and
Yes,
the
it's
brain,
international. It's a
the
new version
brain.
of Esperanto,
Yes.
international language. So vacancy is the job vacancy,
Yeah.
but what I think you mean was
No, absolutely.
holidays,
Holiday, absolutely.
which is the UK version, and then there's vacation, which is the US version. Now, I think when you said a vacancy, you were thinking of vacation, which is the American English version
Okay.
of the word holiday,
Hmm.
holiday being the British English version, the UK version. Can you see the difference between those three things? Vacancy for
Absolutely. Yes.
a job position that's empty, holiday UK, and vacation that's American English US.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Completely.
That's good. So the highlight, as you say, is the strong point.
Yeah.
So the strong point, the moment that was the best or the strongest in any particular situation would be the highlight was the best of the situation. That means out of all of that situation, it was the highlight that was the best. So if you're talking about something which was the best out of something else,
Yeah.
then it's of. That's when you say the highlight was the best of the situation.
Mhm.
Now, here, unless you yourself are the situation, then you could say you are the best
Okay.
out of all the situation, but that's not really what you
Yeah,
meant.
of course.
Yeah, because here you're talking about something else, not yourself.
Mhm.
So you are not the situation.
Yeah.
So you would say, I try to do the best in the situation. That is to say, you are not the situation, but you are in the situation.
Mhm.
That means to say, you are in it, you are part of it, but you are not the whole situation. So the situation
Yeah.
is not you. So that's why we say, I try to do the best in the situation,
Okay.
because we are in it.
Mhm.
We are not the situation itself.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Can you see the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
Mhm.
now, yes, yes.
Because you always do the best in something.
Mhm.
I'm going to do the best I can
Mhm.
in playing football. I can doing the best I
Mhm.
can in studying at university. You see, I'm
Yeah,
going to
you
do the
can use
best I
it for
can.
all these kind
Oh,
of
all these,
things. Yeah,
yes,
they
all
do
these
the
things.
best.
Any situation you can talk about doing the best you can in that situation, in working for my company. I will do the best I can in all of those situations, in all of those places,
Mhm.
in all of those things. But if you're talking about something that is the best, then
Mhm.
you're not doing the best in something. You're just saying this is the best of something, the
Mhm.
best of that situation,
Yeah.
the best thing out of that.
Mhm.
You
Okay.
see, okay, that's
Yeah.
great. Wonderful, Johnny.
Okay.
Yes, so you're right to make the most of it.
Mhm. Of course, and
Yes.
it's better. It's better. Okay, at the beginning, everybody speaking
Was. What was?
speaking more negatively of the situation,
Now,
but
you wouldn't talk negatively so much of something. Of course, in French, on parle négativement de quelque chose. But here, you talk usually negatively about something.
ah,
So, to talk negatively about something. That's how you would say it.
yeah,
So you would talk negatively about this or about that. Now, you can talk um, when you're talking of something, okay,
mhm,
means you're talking usually of a person. I'm talking, who are you talking of? That means who are you referring to?
mhm,
That's when you're saying the name of the person you're talking. I'm talking of. I'm referring to that person. But here you're not just uh, um, talking, just referring to something, but you're talking about and concerning something. So it is quite a subtle difference.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
but um, if you're talking of, that's like you're mentioning just the person. Now, there is an expression uh, in French. Uh, it's a little bit negative, but
mhm.
at least it'll, and I'm sure you know the expression, at least you'll understand better with this. In French, they say, euh, quand on parle du diable,
Mhm.
on voit sa queue. You know that expression in French.
Mhm.
Yes. And in
Il appear,
English,
il appear. Quand on parle
yes.
de diable, on peut dire que
Oui.
on se voit. Il vient,
Voilà.
on se voit de différents. On peut l'utiliser pour des personnes.
Oui, voilà, c'est ça. On fait référence à quelqu'un.
Mhm.
Et là, l'expression en français, on parle du diable.
Mhm.
Of. Mais ici,
Uh-huh.
in English, the expression is talk about the devil. Okay, or speak about the. Oh, no, it's not talk about the devil. Once again, that's when you're having you're talking in depth about it, and saying, okay, let's talk about the devil. But here, if you're mentioning just the name of the person, okay,
Mhm.
then you would say talk of the devil, or speak of the devil. Now, have you heard that expression in English?
Speak of the devil. Also
Speak of
talk.
or talk of the
Speak.
devil, or speak of the devil.
Talk of the devil.
Now, that is an expression that
But
the
if I
English.
say I'm just, yeah, if I say to you, just speak of the devil, no, about the
No,
devil,
exactly.
no,
You
about,
cannot just say
no,
speak of. That's just
yes,
mentioning the name.
yes,
But you're speaking about. That's going in depth. That's why you talk negatively about something.
yeah,
That's when you're going in depth when you're discussing something.
mm-hmm.
Um, but if you're just mentioning the name, then you would speak of that name or just talk of that name. Just mention the name. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually the English, they use that expression when they're talking about somebody, okay,
Mm-hmm.
usually in a negative way, and all of a sudden that person appears, that
Mm-hmm.
person arrives or goes past.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way of saying, oh, look, it's the person we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's the person we were saying bad things about.
Yeah,
It's like in French, quand on parle du diable, on voit sa
mm-hmm.
queue, as the
Mm-hmm.
French say. That means when you talk about bad things or an evil person, on voit sa queue.
Yeah,
That means
mm-hmm.
we see the tail of the person or we see the person. Because if we see
Oh,
the
we see
tail,
the person, yeah, you
you usually
just
see the whole
a
person
saying,
because
it's
you
just a
won't see
saying,
you won't see just the tail on its own
no,
walking
no,
along. No, the tail is connected to
of
the,
course,
the the creature or the
uh-huh.
the being. So obviously that is when the difference between those two,
Mm-hmm.
when you're mentioning somebody, okay, um, and when you're talking about something in depth,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Now, also the difference you have there is when you talk about a subject,
Mm-hmm.
and that is different than talking of a person, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, if you're talking in depth about the person, you would say about. So it's just a difference between talking in depth, then it's about, or just mentioning the name of the person, then it would be like talk of the devil or speak of the devil. But these are expressions, of course, of the world, but at least, uh, at least then you'll know this is an idiomatic expression,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yes, of
because
course,
of course it's not the real devil, but it's referring to a person who usually
yes, of course, it's
people
just a
consider as
saying, yeah,
just a saying. But at least then you'll be understand that saying. If you hear that saying used by a native level English speaker,
mm-hmm.
you'll know what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
It means that the person that is
Yes, yes,
that the people have been talking about
mm-hmm.
has just appeared.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
see that? You
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
that?
of course. No, no, we have the saying also in Italian.
You have in
Yeah,
Italy, in
yes,
Italian, yes, in the Italian
in
language, yes,
Italy. Yeah.
yes, in
Quando si,
Italian.
quando si
Uh-huh.
parla del diavolo spuntano le corna.
That
O-
it's the horns. For
yes,
Italy, it's the
ma
horns.
on
For
peut,
oui,
we can say, as we say this, we say
yes.
this,
Hmm.
but it's absolutely in a very, very happy way, in a
Oh
ridiculous way. It's
yes,
absolutely, because if the person comes in that moment, we
yes.
would say we were speaking about him, and it's not bad to say also, quando si è spuntato le corna. So we
Mm.
would say and laughing with him too, because this is a
Hmm.
saying that we use normally in a normal situation.
Mm.
It's absolutely not. It's not a bad thinking bad thinking about that person. Yeah, it's normal.
That's right.
No, but I understand now the difference between about.
But now you understand the difference between about and of in that
Yes.
situation. It's
Yeah.
like previously the difference between in and of,
Yes.
once again, concerning the situation. So I've identified then, Johnny, that for you, what you need to be careful about is when to use in, when to use of, and when to use about. So these are the three words: in, of. Maybe there are other words, of course.
Yeah,
we don't know yet. But in, of, and about, already we have identified as being three words you must be careful when you use them, in what situation. I mean, which words with those prepositions you use, in what situation, so that you know when to use which one. But that'll come with practice, of course, so you don't need to worry about it. That's just a question of practice, and it'll become better and better as you improve. Yes, that's great. Excellent.
Take a notice of it.
Yeah, you wouldn't take a notice of it. Normally you would say, I will take note of it, because a notice is a sign. Usually it's normally on a notice board, and it's a sign, but you're not taking a sign, the whole notice. You're just taking note, like, when somebody's taking notes, like steno,
stenography, oui.
Yes, when somebody is taking shorthand notes, like a secretary taking notes, then you would say that the secretary is taking notes. But here, you're not taking notes plural, but you're just taking note of it. That is to say, you are noticing it, like the verb, and taking note of it, like, taking, in French you say, j'en prends bonne note. In French they say, j'en prends note, or j'en prends bonne note. But c'est pas une affiche, because a notice is a sign, like une affiche. Donc je ne prends pas une affiche, mais je prends bonne note. You see the difference between note and notice? Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
So you say you're going to take note of it. That's good.
Yeah, I'm going to take a note of it. Yes.
That's right. Excellent, Johnny. Very good. So yes, tell me. Anything else?
Yes, where were we? I don't know. What was I was speaking about the company.
Yes, the company. You were
I
saying
was
it's not
speaking
as
about
good.
the company. Yes, the situation is as it is, and yes, this is the problem. Also, we are not going to make more. I'm not going to think about it. It comes as it comes.
Absolutely. Yes, that's right.
Then we will see. We will see.
Absolutely.
Now it's better to take this time doing other things.
Yes, other.
Other
Not
it's
other.
other
Other.
things.
Remember the word other?
Yes.
It's like company. It's other. So often when you see an O, pronounce it like a U. So often the letter O is pronounced like a U sounds. So I'm writing this so you can remember that. Okay, so often the letter O is pronounced like a U sound, especially at the beginning of words. So at the beginning of words, it's quite often like country as well. It's the same sound. country, company, other, another. You see, always
Yeah.
often at the beginning.
Mhm.
Not so much at the end, because at the end it's usually things like ION. You see, so it's a different sound when it's like station, corporation, situation. So when it's ON at the end, the O is often pronounced like un. You see, situation, corporation, insinuation. So that's how you can, well, it's a bit like a rule of thumb.
Yes,
It'll
John. I
help
have
you
just to remember it. Yeah.
That's right. Just remember it like a
Yeah.
rule of thumb, that little practical rule, golden rule, as we call it as well, golden rule.
Mhm.
Une règle d'or.
Oui, oui.
That's right. It's useful that we both speak French as well, Johnny, so that you know, our exchange, our sharing can be so much richer that when we can say something in the other language that can help us understand English, if we can say it in French. And of course, you have the added advantage of the Italian as well, like you said earlier about the horns, when you see the horns.
Yes.
So you have that, like an extra advantage. You have an
Yes.
extra language, which is wonderful.
Only
Yes?
German I can use it. No, only German I can use it with English, more with English, but I can't compare it. I can't compare it with French or Italian.
Of course, because obviously,
Only a few words. They're same, but it's
yes,
absolutely another language.
of course,
The roots are different.
totally different between the
Yeah.
Latin language, like French,
Yes.
Italian,
Yeah.
Spanish,
Mhm.
and Portuguese, compared to the Germanic languages, like English, German, Dutch, and I think most of the Scandinavian languages tend to be Germanic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know the Dutch language. I don't like.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you don't,
don't you
you,
know. I if I hear it on the television sometimes
yes,
I can pick up some words that are the
yes,
same of in German,
right. So,
but I
yes,
cannot understand the meaning. It's
right.
difficult because only one words, maybe one words. If you see a movie or so,
One
you can you
word, if
one
it's one, it has to be
you,
singular.
one word.
One
Maybe
word, that's right.
if you see a movie on television and then you are
Yes,
watching this movie, then
yes,
you can see maybe what you want to say. But
yes.
if you don't see anything in somewhere, then you cannot pick up the meaning of it.
Yes. So, for example, if I was to say to you, Johnny, ik kan de Nederlands taal praten, maar niet zo heel goed als de Frans en Engels talen. Can you understand what I'm saying there? That's Dutch
So
or Flemish.
something with French.
Yes, well, you understood the word French, Franz, which means French, because in German it's Französisch.
Französisch,
So it's like, yes,
you can take the
abbreviate it.
abbreviating and you can say Franz. Kannst du
Really?
Franz?
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought it was always Französisch in German. It is Franz as well when it's abbreviated. Yes.
And the good thing is that
Yes.
in our in German we have the dialect of the German. We have the
Yes.
Schweizerdeutsch.
Swissdeutsch, Schweizerdeutsch.
Schweizerdeutsch.
Ja, sehr gut, mein Herr.
Und
Jawohl.
ich
Sehr
sage es
schön,
mal,
wunderbar.
auf
Wunderschön.
Schweizerdeutsch.
Ja, Schweizerdeutsch.
Im Moment kann ich Franz, im Moment. I would say at the moment I'm speaking French.
Yes.
And this is the abbreviation from the German word Französisch.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And when you speak French, do you speak Swiss French? And when you speak Italian, do you speak Swiss Italian?
No. Italian is my mother tongue. I would say, my mother language.
So that doesn't
Italian is
change.
my mother language,
But
and I grow up also with German. So I would
I
say
grew
German.
up. This happened in the past.
I grew
I
up
grew up instead of I
with
grow up
German
because
and Italian,
with German and Italian.
and
So
those are my mother languages. And I would say I don't have an accent like now in English or in French.
right.
In
Hmm.
French, I would say I have the accent of a Swiss Italian
So you
French.
do speak Swiss French then?
Yes, I have the accent of a Swiss Italian French, maybe.
Oh, wonderful.
So
International. Donc
I
c'est
have a
l'accent
lesson
de la
with
Suisse romande.
I will have a lesson with you in maybe in 2 weeks, and I
Yes.
have booked French with you. So
Oh,
I'm I'm
wonderful. Oh, I'm looking forward to
I'm
that.
looking
That'll be
forward
wonderful.
to
We'll talk
speak
in French.
French. Yeah.
Yes, that'll be great. And then I suppose your French accent will be the accent from La Suisse romande,
We would say, yeah, it's absolutely a mix about
a
the Swiss.
mixture.
It's a
Yes,
mixture about
a
Italian
mixture.
French, Swiss French, and all the
Wow.
dialects. But
This is wonderful.
you will
Mhm.
have to correct a lot.
Of
Don't worry.
course.
Don't worry.
Yes. No, I enjoy correcting. On the other hand, I'm looking forward to that. I
Yeah.
love correcting.
Yeah.
I do it all the time in my lessons, so that'll be really interesting. Yeah, so that's really, really interesting. You don't speak the other language in Switzerland, which is Romanche.
No, no, I don't speak that language. It's a
Uh-huh.
little bit different.
It is
I haven't
different,
studied
yes.
it. I haven't studied, and
Hmm.
I don't use it. I don't use
No.
it. No, don't
So
use it.
is it a bit like German? Because obviously, if it's on the Austrian, near the Austrian border, I
Hmm.
think they're in the half cantons of
Yes,
like
I would say that.
Appenzell.
I would say that. Yeah,
Yes,
I would
I
say
think it
that.
must be
But
like Austrian. But is Austrian like German, or is it very much different, Austrian?
no, in Austrian you speak also German. But
But it's
this is
Austrian German.
is
It's
Austrian
diff
German, but
That's right.
you can hear it the Austrian
Hmm.
German and the
Yes.
German German. So this is a the pronunciation
Pronunciation.
the pronunciation
Pronunciation.
is
Yes.
different. Yeah,
Right.
also not much that different, but is
Not
different.
much different.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I suppose
I
it's a
will,
bit like.
you will
Sorry.
hear it. You will hear it.
Yes, you'll hear it.
Also,
Yeah.
you will hear it. Yeah.
It's a bit like the difference between Flemish and Dutch. You see, between Flemish and
Yeah,
Dutch.
maybe. Yeah.
Um,
It's in Belgium. Flemish is in
yes,
Belgium.
that's right. Flemish is in Belgium,
Mhm.
and it's slightly different. The pronunciation is slightly different between Flemish and Dutch.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's a bit like Afrikaans.
Ah,
Afrikaans is
yeah.
the South African version of Dutch. Have you heard of Afrikaans?
No, no.
You haven't heard of
African,
Afrikaans?
no, it's a language in African language.
Well, originally, I mean, it's yes, in a sense. I mean, it came from the Dutch, a
Hmm.
bit like Flemish that came from the Dutch,
Okay.
but it's become a slightly different version, just like Flemish has become a slightly different version from the Dutch.
Okay.
Afrikaans is like an African version of the Dutch language.
Yeah.
So once again, Afrikaans is very close to Dutch.
Hmm.
So, for example, it's actually a West Germanic language. Hmm. So
Okay.
it is actually spoken in South Africa, Namibia,
Okay.
and to a lesser extent Botswana and Zimbabwe. So it tends to be in the south of Africa,
Okay. It's
and
in South. Oh, okay.
it's actually evolved from the Dutch vernacular. Do
Hmm.
you see what I mean? The Dutch vernacular?
No vernacular. No.
Vernacular, it's like the Hollandic from Holland,
Hmm. Ah,
Hollandic
okay.
dialect. It's like a dialect, you see.
Hmm.
So I've sent you the link in Wikipedia about Afrikaans. So you didn't actually know, you've never heard of Afrikaans before. This is the first time. Wow, this is great, Johnny. You're learning something totally new here. That's brilliant. I'm
Afrikaans.
so
Okay.
pleased.
I'm going to read now. Afrikaans is a West German language spoken in South
Hmm.
Africa, Namibia, and to a lesser. So I would say this is also Also this is not an official language. I would say this is a special. No, I read.
That's a good question. But in South Africa, it is an official language. The official status of Afrikaans is it's an official language in South Africa because obviously it was spoken by the people who colonized South Africa, which was the Dutch. And that's why they brought apartheid. You've heard of apartheid?
Yeah, apartheid, yeah.
Apartheid is a Dutch word. Anything that ends with H-E-I-D is Dutch.
Okay.
That is a Dutch ending of a word, H-E-I-D. It's a bit like hood in English, neighborhood, childhood, brotherhood. So hide, H-E-I-D is like hood, and then apart is the Dutch word for separation or segregation. So it's also recognized as a minority language in Namibia. So it still has an official status in Namibia, but as a minority language rather than one of the majority languages.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting.
Yes, it's interesting. It's I think it has to do with the history of South Africa.
That's right.
I think there were more German people there than French people.
Yes,
they settled,
or more Dutch.
I think they settled up. I can't see the year now, but they settled up for about maybe 100 years.
When it originated
in the 18th century, maybe
that's
19th
right.
century.
Yes, 18th century is the 1700s. And obviously it went right through till now because they still use it. So it's interesting. Afrikaans was known in Standard Dutch as a kitchen language. Can you imagine?
A kitchen language?
Yes. If you look a bit further down after etymology, when you go into the subdivisions, then you look at history and then the origin after etymology, and you see that Afrikaans was known in Standard Dutch as a kitchen language because it was lacking prestige. So it was the kind of language you would speak in the kitchen, right at the back, dans l'arrière-cuisine, en arrière-plan, you see. So you would speak it behind the scenes, but not so much in public. You would speak it more in private, you see, like not at the table where people are eating, but where the meal is being prepared, which is in the kitchen, like behind the scenes. I think that's what they mean by kitchen language.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Yeah. So I'm glad you've discovered something new.
Yeah, of course.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah. But the bad thing, I can't see you anymore. I can't find.
I'm sorry. I can see you. I can see myself.
But I know you can see yourself.
That's strange. I can see myself, but you can't see me.
Some window.
But now I've closed my webcam and I've reopened my webcam. So now, normally by refreshing it, you should be able to see me. Can you see me now?
No.
No. Let me try again. I can close it. I'm switching off the video. Okay. And then afterwards, I'm going to switch on the video again. And usually that unblocks it, at least on my side. And also normally on the side of other people, it should unblock it for you. Normally you should be able to see me now. Can you see me now, Johnny? You can't. Oh, that's strange. Let me try again. So I'm switching off.
If I can do something.
There, I've switched off.
I think I have.
Have you opened something else that uses the camera? If you open something else that uses the camera, because you cannot share the camera between the different applications.
Because now I'm in the window where I can see Skype, but I can't see you anymore.
That's
because
strange.
It's strange because I have closed. It's like the software is here. but I can't open it again because
Strange.
I have closed it with internet
Normally, you
and
wouldn't say I have closed it, although it's not technically wrong, it's grammatically correct, but the way the native level English speakers would speak, they wouldn't say I have all the time, they would just say I closed it.
I
Because,
closed it.
we try to keep it as compact and simple as possible. Did I
Okay.
tell you about KISS, the mnemonic? Keep it short and simple. Did I tell you about that?
No, I can't remember.
Okay, so that
Keep,
stands for keep it short and simple. So it's KISS, so you can remember it easily. And it's for your English language to have the most impact, to make it as powerful as possible, then if you just say the minimum amount of words that you need to express something, instead of a lot of words that would dilute the meaning and possibly even confuse the other person, to keep it simple and direct with a lot of impact, then we try to say as much as possible with as few words as possible. So you need to have a minimum amount of words, but a maximum amount of meaning. So those words must be meaningful. That's why we need to avoid junk words like get, got, and gotten. Did I explain to you about get, got, and gotten, the importance of avoiding those words in the English language, Johnny?
No, the importance of avoiding. No,
No,
you
I didn't.
haven't spoken
I
to me,
didn't tell you
but
about that.
I can't. Yes, yeah, it's there are words that I use when I can have or I can't
Exactly.
remember the other
That's
words.
right.
So I
It's a
come up
substitute.
with these words. Yeah, it's a
That's right.
substitute for everything.
It's an alternative for everything, but
Yeah.
it's very poor. Just
Yes, of
like the
course.
Americans have fast food and junk food, which doesn't
Yeah.
have much content. It isn't very nutritious, not
Mhm.
very nutritional. It doesn't feed you very much. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't communicate very much when it's a junk word because it's
Mhm.
empty, more or less empty as far as meaning is concerned, because it's just used as a substitute. Now, to avoid this kind of poor English or low level and low quality English,
Mhm.
just to give you an example, we had an exam when I was in England and I was 17. It was between the O levels that you do when you're 16 and the A levels you do when you're 18. It's called an AO exam. And it was entitled The Use of English exam.
Mhm.
And they had a little story, which I can tell you now so you can see what it's like. Just a little moment. I'm just going to have a little drink, Johnny, so that I
Yes, yes,
don't
no problem.
dry up in the middle. Excuse me.
But I can't see you because I don't have a picture of you anymore.
Mm.
I don't know why. But it's okay. I can
Well,
hear you.
I can cut the call and call you back if you want
Maybe,
me
maybe if you
to call you
want,
back.
but yeah,
Yes, I can
it's
call
better.
you back,
Yeah, yeah.
Johnny.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll call you back.